So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The Southern Christian Leadership Conference was a peaceful protest organization led by Martin Luther King. One of the first protests was the Protest in South. Its aims were to highlight segregation and civil rights issues. This helped them to gain popularity, but progress was limited at first, but it was a success. In 1958 to 1960 came the Crusade for Citizenship. The aim was to double voting registration, but it was badly organized and poorly funded, so it was a failure. In 1961 to 1962, in Albany, Georgia, they suffered their biggest defeat. Laurie Pritchard was the police chief, and he arrested and jailed the peaceful protesters, including Martin Luther King. Laurie Pritchard arranged for the court fine to be paid anonymously by a donor to free the leaders. This gained the Southern Christian Leadership Conference limited national coverage, and so was a failure for the organization. In Birmingham, Alabama, Martin Luther King gained media attention. The aim was to end racial segregation by peaceful protest, by ending segregation in shop facilities, dismissing all charges in previous civil rights protests, and getting equal job opportunities for black and white. This was successful as it got national media attention, but was a failure as it did not achieve its aims. On the 28th of August, 1963, a crowd of 250,000 people turned out at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. This speech called for racial integration and an end to segregation.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring, and when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty.